What's up, y'all? This your man, Deshaun BBN. I'm your host, Deshaun, and welcome back to another edition of the All Cats Everything and Then Some podcast. Well, win, lose, or draw, I'm always about my Kentucky Wildcats. I got on my favorite UK shirt, as you can see, box field. Now, I've had this shirt since 2012. That was the last time we won the national championship. Now, if you don't understand what box field means, because I've had people ask me this when I got the shirt, way back in 2012, we had this little checkered box pattern on our uniforms. And inside those checkered boxes, we had all the years that we won a national championship. Now, that last checkered box is empty, but once we won our 12th championship, which was our 8th, the box was filled, hence box filled. So now you understand what that means. For those of you who cared or did not care, whatever. When we got eight national championships, all-time leader in wins, so on, so on, and so on. Anyways, last night against Utah, we lost 69-66 in what was another game where we played like shit. Capital S-H-I-T, played like a big pile of stinking shit. Now, I don't like it when we lose, but I especially don't like it when we play like shit and we lose. Now, I don't believe in moral victories, but I wouldn't be as disappointed that we lost if we would have played good, but Utah got lucky and beat us on the last second shot. I wouldn't have been as upset if we played good, but we couldn't get the benefit of the doubt from the refs and Utah beat us because of it. But we just played like absolute shit in that game. I was just like, holy fuck, what are y'all doing? I'm surprised I stayed up to watch it. It was, for the most part, unbearable. Now, since it was a late game, I couldn't scream and yell at the TV like I normally would have been because I didn't want to wake up my wife. I'm just sitting at the TV the whole time like this. And when we tied the game up, I was still sitting there like this. Because we played like crap the whole game. Well, maybe not the whole game, but we played like crap for 30 minutes. And that's why we lost. We was only down by 4 points at halftime. 4! And excuse my language, these dudes went on a scoring run and we was down by 17. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, it's ridiculous that we played so bad last night. I don't understand what the hell happened. Like, did y'all not practice hard? Did y'all not pay attention? Did y'all not listen to what Coach Cal is saying? Like, what the hell is going on? Now, yes, it's only the second loss of the year. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but we ain't going to win a whole lot of games playing like that. Shoot. Like, there's no excuse for us to lose like that. Utah, now we can't use experience as an excuse because Utah has 10 freshmen on their damn team. 10 freshmen, 2 sophomores. Like, there's no reason we should have lost that game. There's no reason why we should have played like that. It was ridiculous. Well, I mean, I will give them some credit. I mean, they did play harder. They did erase a 17-point deficit. They did tie the game up. But they still sucked last night. They went 2 of 17 from the 3-point line. Like, you can't win games like that. You can't win games or you're playing lackadaisical for 30 minutes, and then in the last 10 minutes you decide you want to play hard. Like, I don't understand. It was just unbearable, ridiculous. Not the worst loss we've ever had in Kentucky history, but it's a loss that could have been avoided. Like, I don't know what the hell Coach Cal's telling these boys, but I don't know. Maybe they're just not getting it. Maybe Coach Cal is just losing his touch. I don't know what the hell it is, but they got to get their shit together if they want to be great. I mean, I still believe that this Kentucky team is good enough to make it to the Final Four. But we can't play like that. Now, I'm not saying we got to shoot 50% for the 3-point line, but we can't go 2 of 17. We got to at least make a few more threes. And if we would have made 3 or 4 more of those threes, we would have won the game. If we would have played hard for 40 minutes instead of just the last 10 minutes of the game, we would have won. Like, it's just ridiculous. I don't understand what the hell they were thinking. Like, were they overlooking Utah and ready for Ohio State? I don't know. But one thing's for certain, y'all ain't going to beat Ohio State playing like that. You're not going to beat Louisville playing like that. So get your shit together. Really, please do. Like, I don't know. Maybe they'll figure something out. I mean, I'm remaining cautiously optimistic. It ain't the end of the world yet, you know. Now, unlike most Kentucky fans, I don't think it's the end of the world after one loss. Now, I love my Kentucky Wildcats. I love the Big Blue Nation, but man, some of y'all be overreacting after one loss. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's only December. Yes, it's a game that could have been avoided. We could have avoided that loss. We could have played a lot better and won, but it's not the end of the world. It's only our second loss of the year. I mean, hell, it could be worse. It could be on a 4-game losing streak like that blue team in North Carolina, the Tar Heels or whatever they call. I mean, they're 6-5. They're not even in the top 25 anymore. Hell, they should probably start panicking. So yes, it could be worse, y'all. It really could. But yes, you know, despite the ups and downs that we go through, I mean, I still support Coach Cal. I still believe he can get this team to the Final Four, maybe even win the championship this year. But the improvement got to start now. Not in January, not in March, but now. Like, y'all gotta get your shit together right now while it's still early in the season. You can't go into the NCAA tournament and like, oh fuck, we still struggle. We need to get our shit together, or else we're gonna lose. Do it now, and then we won't have this problem come March. Now, like I said, I love the Big Blue Nation, but some of y'all just impatient. Some of y'all overreact. Like, ever since we let the national championship slip through our fingers back in 2015, when we got beat by Wisconsin in the Final Four, some Kentucky fans have been jumped on the bandwagon to fire John Calipari. Now, I don't think so. Now, yes, we should have won at least a couple more championships. We should have won in 2015 when we had the platoon, when was 38-0, but then Wisconsin beat us in the Final Four. We should have won, I believe, in 2017 when we had De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk and Bam Adebayo. But we got screwed over against North Carolina. Tie game with like 5 seconds left. They pass the ball. Luke May shoots it, wins. Now, after seeing that replay over and over again, I don't know how the hell they missed an obvious travel call. Luke May didn't even dribble the damn ball. He just caught it, took 2 steps back, shot it. Didn't even dribble, and they didn't even call it. It should have went to overtime. Now, I'm not saying we would have won that game, but if they would have called that obvious travel, I mean, maybe we would have won, and then we would have gone on to win the championship. But I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Now, I've always said this. John Calipari is not the best coach in college basketball. I mean, I have no problem admitting that. I mean, I hate to say it, but Coach K from Duke is the best coach in college basketball. But John Calipari is not a bad coach. John Calipari is not terrible like everyone says he is. Now, yes, he does struggle with the X's and O's, which that's the only bad thing I can say about him. He struggles making adjustments. He struggles with the X's and O's. But, you know, some coaches are X's and O's guys. Some coaches are motivators. Some are both. Now, Coach Cal is more of a motivator. He knows how to motivate you. He knows how to get the best out of you. That's his strength. Now, he's not a bad coach. I mean, people say he can't coach, but I disagree 100%. I mean, the stats prove that he can coach. You don't win 700 plus games in your career if you can't coach. You don't get elected into the Naismith Hall of Fame if you're just an average coach. I mean, you don't have all these boys wanting to come play for you if you was an average coach. Like, he's good. I mean, is he the best coach in the country? No, of course not. But I'd still say he's a top 10 coach, whether anyone wants to agree with me or not. Coach Cal is top 10. I mean, even the guys that cover basketball for a living, like Jay Billis and all that, they praise Calipari for his coaching ability. Now, I'm not saying you have to agree with them, but All I'm saying is, if you say he can't coach, you're wrong. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best coach, but again, if you think he can't coach, you're wrong. Now, I'm not on this whole fire John Calipari bandwagon for a couple reasons. Well, number one, he's the best man for the job. And number two, you don't want to fire him and get somebody that's worse. See, Kentucky, it's like coaching the New York Yankees. It's like coaching the Lakers, like coaching the Patriots. Nah, it's not a job that anyone can do. You got to be the right man for it. It's not something that you could throw some average Joe in place and he's going to do great. You got to be able to handle the pressure that comes with being Kentucky's coach. You got to be able to handle the pressure of having everyone wanting to beat you on any given night. And not every coach can put up with that pressure. And John Calipari can, and that's why he's perfect for the job. Now, let's say I was on this bandwagon. Let's say I agree we should fire John Calipari. Yeah, there's really only, I'd say, three coaches who could take the job and still be able to produce, kind of like what Calipari has done. Now, you could throw. I'm not going to mention Coach K. I'm not going to mention Tom Izzo, Roy Williams, Bill Self. They're not leaving, so don't even think about them. BBN. Coach K has been at Duke since 1985. He ain't going nowhere. Roy Williams is not leaving North Carolina. Tom Izzo, he been in Michigan State since 1995. He's not leaving. Bill Self is not leaving Kansas. Now, the coaches who I think would be a good replacement for Calipari, one of which is Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan, right now, he used to be the coach at Florida. He was an assistant coach under Rick Pitino back when Pitino was at Providence. Billy Donovan is in the NBA right now, coaching the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, yes, they are rebuilding. They no longer have Westbrook. They no longer have Paul George. Their team is entirely different. But as of right now, they stand at 13 and 14, which is not bad, considering that they lost Westbrook and Paul George. Now, the only way we'd be able to get Billy Donovan is if Oklahoma City were to fire him. And that's probably not going to happen, at least not this year. So, take Billy Donovan out of the question. Another coach who I think would be a good replacement for Calipari is Brad Stevens. Now, Brad Stevens is the coach for the Celtics right now. If y'all remember, Brad Stevens was the coach at Butler. He led them to the national championship game against Duke and came within a half-court shot of beating Duke in the national championship game. Gordon Hayward took the rebound, dribbled it to about half court, shot it. It rimmed out. Duke won. If he would have hit that shot, man, would have been the biggest shot in NCAA history, if you ask me. But yeah, the Celtics, they're rolling. I believe they're the second or third best team in the Eastern Conference. So Brad Stevens is not going anywhere. And then the other coach who I think would be a good replacement for Calipari is Jay Wright from Villanova. Jay Wright led Villanova to the national championship in 2016, and then he did it again in 2018. Jay Wright, I think he's a pretty good coach. He can recruit. He knows how to develop players. He's put a lot of guys in the NBA over the last few years. I think he's great. I'd say he's one of the top 5, top 10 coaches in the country. But, I mean, despite all the recent success Jay Wright has had, he's had a lot of early exits in the NCAA tournament. Before Villanova won the championship in 2016, the last time Villanova was in the Final Four was 2006. So, I mean, yeah, Jay Wright's great, but he ain't the best. But, I mean, I think he would be a good replacement for Calipari. But could Jay Wright handle the Big Blue Nation? Could he handle the pressure that comes with being Kentucky's head coach? I don't know. So, yeah, if it ain't one of those three, nobody can come in and do the same thing Calipari is doing. So all I ask from y'all is to be patient. Patience is key here. Then you're not going to win the national championship every season. See, me, yes, it'd be nice if we could win the national championship every year, but it's not possible. I only ask of two things when it comes to Kentucky basketball. If we can't win the national championship, number one, I want y'all to be competitive. Go out there, play hard every game for 40 minutes. Don't get blown out. Go out there, do your best every night. And Kentucky does that every year. Except for the 2012-2013 season where Nerlens Noel got hurt and everything went downhill from there. Lost to Robert Morris. That was the worst team we've had under Calipari. But everybody else has shown some kind of fight. And number two, if we can't win the national championship, the only thing I ask is we beat our rivals. Our traditional rival and our most historic rival, Louisville. Our blue blood rivals, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas. And for the most part, we beat our rivals. Louisville, they've only beat us once since Calipari's been the coach. Now, let Louisville fans tell you they beat us twice, but it's like y'all said about Calipari. Vacated wins don't count. So y'all only beat Kentucky once since Calipari has been Kentucky's head coach, whether you like it or not. North Carolina, I believe since Calipari's been our coach, I believe our record is 5-5 against North Carolina, so about even with them, which I guess I can settle for even because Tubby Smith had a losing record against North Carolina. Billy Gillespie couldn't beat North Carolina, so even 500 is better than being under. Duke, yeah, we're 1-2 against Duke since Calipari became our coach. We beat them that year we had Jamal Murray. They beat us the year we had Nerlens Noel. They beat us last year when they had Zion Williamson. But we'll see Duke again within the next 2 years. We'll get our revenge. We'll even it up. We still lead the all-time series, though, so that's a good thing. And Kansas, I believe I think we're 3-2 against Kansas since Calipari's been the coach. We might be at 500. I don't know. Hell, they might have a winning record against us. But, yeah, for the most part, we've been competitive. We beat our rivals. So if we can't win the national championship, at least I could say that much. Now, again, if you want Calipari fired, all I gotta say is if we do fire Calipari within the next 5 years or less, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if we do, hopefully we'll get one of those three to replace him, because if it ain't Jay Wright, if it ain't Brad Stevens, if it ain't Billy Donovan, whoever comes in to replace Calipari is not going to do better. It's the truth. But, yeah, enough about that. We will bounce back against Ohio State. We'll beat them. Not saying it'll be a close game, but I think we'll win. If I'm wrong, I will acknowledge my mistakes on my next podcast. Excuse me. But moving along, I'm going to do some shout-outs. The first one I got is to UK's football team. Now, going into next year, we'll have the number 20 recruiting class in the country, according to Rivals. And according to 24/7 Sport, we got the number 23 best recruiting class in the country. Now, this is great for Kentucky because we're not really known for football. We're a basketball school. Adolph Rupp Arena, the 8 national championships, so on and so on. But Mark Stoops has turned Kentucky into a respectable football program. Now, I don't know. It probably won't be in my lifetime, but maybe one of these days Kentucky will be a football powerhouse as well as basketball. But I like what Mark Stoops has done. We've had 4 straight winning seasons. We're going to the Belk Bowl against Virginia Tech. We put some guys in the NFL. And we got a good recruiting class. The number 20 ranked recruiting class according to Rivals. This is like our best recruiting class ever in football. Kentucky will be even better next year in football. This year we went 7, despite all the injuries, despite the terrible quarterback play when Sawyer Smith was injured. Despite all the injuries, despite everything, we still managed to win 7 games. We still managed to beat Louisville. We still managed to make it to a bowl game for a 4th year in a row. Now, the one player I'm really excited about seeing next year is Justin Rogers, the 5-star defensive tackle from Michigan. Justin Rogers, now I'm not too familiar with the history of UK football, but Justin Rogers is probably the best football recruit we've ever got. Well, in terms of rankings. Rivals has him as a 5-star player. I believe he's ranked somewhere in the top 25. This is a huge get for us. Now, Rodgers, he's 6'2", a little over 300 pounds. A little bit short for a defensive tackle, but he does have long arms, and he's a good athlete. I can't wait to see what he does. He's gonna wreak havoc out there on the defensive line. Hell, he might be a starter from day one. He should be. I mean, we do have some juniors and seniors on our defense. I don't know how many of our defensive linemen are juniors and seniors, but if Calvin Taylor comes back, add him with Justin Rogers, man, we gonna cause hell in football next year. I'm also excited about Joey Gatewood. Now, Joey Gatewood is a transfer from Auburn. Now, coming out of high school, he was a four-star player. He's a dual threat quarterback. From what I've seen from his high school tapes, he kind of reminds me of Dak Prescott. Now, Prescott is not. Now, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not here to gloat about them. He's a good quarterback. I mean, maybe not the best in the NFL, but he's pretty good. And Gatewood kind of reminds me of Dak. Excuse me. Now, he won't be able to play because of transfer rules, but after Terry Wilson is gone, we'll be in good hands in terms of quarterback because we got Joey Gatewood, and then we also got Bo Allen, who's the #1 quarterback in the state of Kentucky. I believe he's also a four-star player. He's from Lexington Catholic. I really like what I'm seeing. I really like Bo Allen too. I think he's tough. He got a little athleticism, got a nice arm. If Gatewood gets hurt, I mean, we'll have some insurance. Oh, and I think Sawyer Smith will be back next year too. So we'll be straight at quarterback for these next few years. Kentucky football, I'm gonna call it right now. Next year we'll go 9-3. Well, 10-3 after the bowl game. It's gonna be a good year next year for Kentucky football. Now, my next shout out, I got some. Now, he's not affiliated with Kentucky in any way, but I want to give a shout out to Jamel Carruthers. Reason why is because Jamel is from my hometown, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Went to Bowling Green High School. He's the fullback for Navy. Now, a couple weeks ago, Jamel was named the American Athletic Conference Player of the Week. He had 185 yards and 5 touchdowns. Yeah, you heard that right, 5 touchdowns. He also had a good game against Army. He had 75 yards and ran for a touchdown. And Navy will be playing in the Liberty Bowl at the end of this month. So, Jamel, keep doing your thing. Now I got some NBA shout-outs. First, I'm going to give a shout-out to Tyler Hero. Last night in the win against the 76ers, Tyler Hero accounted for 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Hero, that's all I said before, Tyler Hero is going to be a good NBA player. Hell, he might be the steal of the draft. In my personal opinion, I think he is a star in the making. Now, he's not going to make it to the All-Star game this year, obviously, but give him to his 3rd or 4th year. You'll see by the end that Tyler Hero is going to be a star in this league. Next, I want to give a shout out to Malik Monk and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Both of them had 5 points last night for the Charlotte Hornets. I also want to give a shout out to Bam Adebayo, also of the Miami Heat. Last night, he had 23 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and helped the Heat beat the 76ers. Now, Bam Adebayo, he's a future star in the making as well. If he doesn't make it to the All-Star game this year, he got snubbed. Because Bam is killing it this year, especially these last few games. When I watch Bam play, he kind of reminds me of Dwight Howard from his Orlando days. Not the Houston, LA Dwight Howard, but Dwight Howard at his best. The Dwight Howard that led the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals. Shout out to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He had 20 points, 9 rebounds, and an assist in Oklahoma City's win last night. Shout out to Nerlens Noel, also of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He had 10 points. Shout out to Jamal Murray. Last night the Nuggets won. Jamal Murray accounted for 33 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Shout out to Willie Cauley-Stein. He had 12 points and 7 rebounds in a loss last night against the Blazers. And finally, shout out to Skal Labissiere, who had 10 points, 7 rebounds for the Blazers as they beat the Warriors. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of shout-outs. There wasn't a whole lot of games last night. Wasn't a whole lot of UK players in action last night. But I always got to give a shout-out to the UK players in the NBA. I always got to shout out the football team, the basketball team. I mean, this is all cats everything and then some. So, of course, what do you expect? I got to give my shout-outs to my Wildcats. All right, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all have a great rest of the day. Tune in next Thursday for another edition of the All Cats Everything and Then Some podcast. I'm Deshaun, and I'm out.